Iowa week, and it's a big one for Matt Rhule as you look at what this game means. It's the Heroes Trophy. Iowa's won 9 of the last 10. Nebraska started this series winning 3 of the first 4, including the first one ever in Lincoln. That is Nebraska's lone win over Iowa in Lincoln.
So, yeah, this is absurd. But Iowa's won 6 straight in Lincoln. That is one of the most absurd stats of Nebraska's sort of period of struggle. There's a lot of them, but that's certainly one of them.
They fully capitalize on Nebraska's dysfunction with their stability and their approach.
Good way to put it.
And it's helped elevate their program in what's been one of the more rougher stretches in the modern history of Nebraska. And these wins over Nebraska, each Black Friday, 9 of the last 10, have bumped them up a notch. Gets them to a better bowl game, gives their fans the bragging rights over the holidays.
Yeah, so let's see Nebraska do that.
And think if the script was flipped, how much, if Nebraska just wins 3 or 4 of those 9 they lost.
Yeah, we're looking at things differently.
A whole different feel.
Well, and there you go. So go back to the headline, Iowa week, and it's a big one for Rhule. This season will have a whole different feel. I would say a whole different feel, or definitely a largely different feel if Nebraska wins. This would be Rhule's biggest win at Nebraska. This would certainly be the biggest win of the season. It's 7-4 Iowa, but it's Iowa. So yeah, it's and you know what I always say, Rhule is a great salesman, but you want to see tangible progress. Like today, Monday, Rhule this press conference said, we know what direction we're going. So, and I trust him, I do, but you want to see it. You want to see stuff on Saturdays, in this case Friday. So this would be a piece of tangible evidence that backs what he says. It can't always be the coach telling us there's progress, right? You have to see it.
And you will see that if they win, the number of people that would go on the bowl trip.
Yeah, bowl trip.
In the bowl trip, we'll talk more about the bowl, but you think about Rhule's first 2 Iowa games. Okay. Chuba Purdy has the ball after a Tommy Hill pick.
Oh God, yes.
And they're all they need to do
this, Sean,
is throw a couple of nice pass plays to set up a game-winning field goal or run plays. He throws a pick
to a linebacker who's just sitting in the hole waiting, right?
And then last year they had control of that game.
Oh, don't even
the whole time, but then the special teams blunder and the play that Johnson got. But then they still had the ball with a chance to win in a regulation, and Bryce Benhart got beat off the ball. Dylan takes a strip sack. Yeah, I think. And then Iowa wins the game on a field goal.
Yeah, I mean, and Nebraska generally played better than Iowa last year. Iowa got that huge, that little flare out pass to the big running back who broke 5 tackles on the way to a long touchdown run. But by and large, I thought Nebraska outplayed them. But God, those 2 losses, by the way, just gut punch.
Well, the one last year, especially because at halftime when it was 10-0 Nebraska, I believe it was 10-0 at that point.
Nebraska had control, but it should have been more control.
It should. I mean, and if you felt like if they could have gotten it to 17, it was over.
Yeah.
And Iowa was going to have to change what they did. And even the play to Caleb Johnson, that was just like, hey, let's help the punter out with a check down screen. And he took it the distance.
Yeah. Broke 5 tackles.
And it changed the game. But that play, Nebraska was in position to shut it down for like a 2-yard gain.
I know. So those are the type of losses that we've experienced. Not all of them have been that way. There was a 56-14 loss in Lincoln that Nebraska incurred, but there's been a lot of close ones. And getting back to this is a huge opportunity for Nebraska. Huge opportunity. And I think, we'll get into the headlines of more the nuts and bolts, but it's definitely doable. It's doable. Now, what's the spread?
It's at 6 right now for Iowa. And
it's a 6-point favorite. Why?
So you put it in perspective. Iowa's favored more over Nebraska than Michigan was in Lincoln, than USC was in Lincoln.
Why do you think that is? Why is it 6 in Europe? I have an idea, but why would you say?
No Riola, like it or not, like that's a difference. I think they're looking at, hey, they don't have their starting quarterback, and Iowa's strengths are kind of Nebraska's weaknesses. What are Iowa's strengths? Outside zone edge runs and quarterback runs.
Yep.
And Nebraska's defense has had a hard time because they could have the perfect play call dialed up this weekend on Gronowski, and he's going to have the mobility to escape it. And that's happened all year.
And then on the other side, it's Iowa's defensive coordinator. And you heard Matt Rhule on Monday really heap praise on Phil Parker, the longtime Iowa defensive coordinator, who plays this defense that, and I'm very familiar with it because I've covered it a long time, and I know guys who have worked on that staff. You know how they do it. They keep everything in front usually. And it's kind of a bend don't break. It's very, very sound. And I think the secret of it is they ask their guys to do a lot of hard things, play two gaps, stuff like that. And they ask their DBs to do tough stuff. They match routes. So you might say, I've said this before, but you might say Phil Parker, he'll have some disguises. He'll try to confuse TJ Lateef. No, you know what, Sean? You know what he does? They cover really well. They're a good cover team. And if you watch them, they cover really well.
Other than Trey Palmer.
Yeah, that game was very much an aberration. Yeah, when they were down a corner and Trey Palmer just ran by him, which was weird. You never see that.
Do you want to hear another Iowa-Nebraska stat that'll blow your mind? This will be the 15th straight year of Black Friday. Did you realize that Colorado and Nebraska only played 15 years on Black Friday?
Is that right?
So like that period of time just seems like they played forever. Well, Iowa and Nebraska now will meet for the 15th straight Black Friday, which is equal to what Nebraska, Colorado did. Because before Black Friday, Colorado, there was Oklahoma. And, that was their Black Friday game. But then the Big 12 comes along for 15 years with Nebraska.
That's an interesting stat.
But yeah, you never would think of like this Big 10 has just flown by.
It has. I hope you're not repulsed by this, but this is a rivalry?
Absolutely.
Right? Okay. So there are people who push back on that. I don't get it. There'll be people in our comments, I guarantee you, that push back. It feels like a rivalry to me. I just kind of go by feel. I think it's hot. Like I think it's a hot rivalry.
Iowa, you can feel the vulgarity with they had armed troopers guarding the Hawkeye.
Yeah.
And
now, do they do that all?
The Nebraska athletic director and Matt Rhule and the players were, getting into it or yell, particularly Troy Dannon last year. I
talked to Dannon right after that. I couldn't really talk to him because he was so hot. He was viscerally angry. Like, yeah, he was.
This Bush League. Why the hell would you have armed cops when a football team that's going to play in the stadium?
Right.
Like, it's just walking. Like, what the hell are you doing?
I don't know.
In the world that we live in now, especially, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Putting police in that situation.
Is that really necessary?
Like, you really showed them.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I believe I totally agree with what you're saying, though. It just has that feel. The fan, I don't know, everything about it to me. It's just, now some people are going to say it's not a rivalry until Nebraska starts holding up its end. But by the way, if Nebraska does start holding up its end, it'll really get hot.
If Nebraska were to win this game, I do think you'd see the students come on the field. That's just, like it or not, that's what they do now.
I'm fine with that.
Like the students did it. The students did it against Colorado. They did it against Wisconsin. We live in an Instagram, hold your phone up world, and they're all going to come out there and do that. We'll see it.
I think that's fine.
And Iowa needs to see that. If Nebraska were to win this game, you want Iowa. Instead of Drew Stevens blowing kisses at you and grabbing his junk, running off the field, you want Nebraska fans but long way from that happening. I'm not saying that. You have to play well.
No, I know, though. I don't disagree at all. We just literally got done saying this would be Rhule's biggest win.
The thing with the cops on the field, the thing with the handshake thing pregame, how big Iowa's people made that out to be. Drew Stevens blowing kisses and grabbing himself running off the field at the Nebraska bench. That should anger you.
Right.
It's BS. Like, and if that doesn't get you ready to play for this game, I don't know what will.
Well, it sounds like you're ready to
Well,
play.
because I'm tired of every Black Friday for the last 10 years dealing with this.
I know. I understand.
Especially when Nebraska at times has played well enough to win these games and they've lost them all.
You have some cranium.
I cracked my first cranium open and it is slow release at this point.